Americans last year spent over $550 billion on pharmaceuticals. Obviously, a great deal of good is done through the pharmaceutical industry, but we also know of so many people who have a regimen of pill taking every day, 20, 30 medicines with counteracting different symptoms and trying to help the person get better, but sometimes making them worse. We also saw a lot of suspicion during the COVID time about what were the limits of pharmaceutical remedies. When I think of big pharma, of course, who can be against blood pressure medicine or taking pills that deal with cholesterol, but yet you're in front of the television, you are bombarded with advertisements about big pharma and all the upsides to taking this pill or that pill. What do you make of that? What's behind all this pill taking?
Money. It's money. And I have to say that living in Europe, it's not the same. There's none of that. You're not allowed to advertise about pills. And the result is that nobody even thinks about asking for them, and the doctors don't prescribe them. They generally, like, here's a common doctor thing. Your cholesterol is high, it's, well, I'm certainly not going to put you on a drug for it, but adjust your diet a little bit. It's not the same, Jim. It's a little strange here in America, and I think as Americans, we need to be a little suspicious of this over-medicating.
And yet you're bombarded with media messages, advertisement campaigns, and they're showing the happy couple swinging the grandchild on the swing while underneath it is, this will cause vomiting, dizziness, headaches, you're going to explode one day. Exactly. And in the process, you're like, talk about a mixed message. I mean, what part of the ad are we supposed to pay attention to? All the warnings? So I realize defensive medicine being what it is, the lawyers that often litigate and sue every time there's a death. And then the death-by-death coverage of COVID that we saw at the beginning that frightened people. They were like, give me something, anything to make this go away.
They did a great marketing job, didn't they?
They did, and they're still doing it. They've got the great football stars getting shots and make sure you get your flu shot. Well, who's against flu shots? But you still have to look at efficacy, and you got to look at, like you said, lifestyle changes. Instead of taking a pill, maybe eat less, or maybe exercise more, or maybe you avoid sweets if you're pre-diabetic. I wonder what is underneath all of besides the money, the American quick fix strategy. Is that it? We can fix things quickly with painlessly?
I wouldn't be hard on us Americans because we're trying to help each other. In America, there's a unique attitude of we're all important, and I think there's partially that's the thing where if someone has a problem, if we can fix it with a drug, let's do it. Let's alleviate suffering. But life is not that way. And this is unnecessary medicating, and it causes terrible side effects because when you medicate one thing, you throw something else off.
Yeah, it can happen. Yeah. And I've seen, the upside, like I have a friend that has Parkinson's, and initially it wasn't diagnosed. And then when they put him on Sinemet, a medicine that helps Parkinson's patients, he was able to walk much better immediately, instantly. It was miraculous. So I'm not denigrating at all, but I just wonder whether in our psychology now, people feel obliged to be on the med train, the pharma train. And I also hate how pharmacy products become almost addictive. We are feeding addictions, whether it's gambling or pornography or you name the different weaknesses human beings. And I'm wondering whether fear of death isn't behind this.
It has to be. And I think we've medicalized death to the degree where it's not considered a natural part of life, you know? And that would be a concern.
As if these pills were going to conquer death.
Yeah, and the other thing is nobody should be on 10 pills. I mean, that's not right. They got to be counterindicating.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, I'm not a doctor, and I think they take advantage of all of us that we don't have the medical backgrounds, but yet when you look at how the standards on cholesterol and blood pressure medicines keep lowering and so that more and more people have to take them to meet the medical standards, you just wonder whether it isn't a lot of profiteering dressed up as, here's what's best for you, doctor knows best.
I think we have to be really cautious and really do our research if we're able before we take any drug.
I think that's right, because I just think that if we don't get on top of this, as the age wave continues, the amount of demand and requirement of this under Medicare Part D will be unaffordable, and the premiums will be out of reach of most Americans, and that would be really sad.
In Europe, by the way, you have all these natural strategies. Russian medicine is not about drugs at all. So everyone should know it's being done far differently in other countries.
Yeah, it'd be a break if every weekend when you're watching football or basketball or something, you didn't get all these pharmacy ads. But maybe more people know about this, the better we'll all be.